So I was in Dollar Tree the other day and I came across this clay and I immediately thought, I have got to make something with this just to test out how good Dollar Tree clay is. But then I realized I don't even sculpt, so I'm probably not the best person to test out how good clay is, because I wouldn't even know what good clay or bad clay is. But you know what? We're gonna try it anyways. So my thought was that I was going to try to make this little fox that's on the, like the little thing that it comes with on the little cover piece. I was going to try to make the cute little fox that's on there. So of course I only took out the 3 colors, the orange, the white, and the brown. And let me tell you, this was a lot harder than I thought it was. Number one, I don't have any sculpting tools. So as you can see, I'm using like pens and paper clips and stuff to sculpt the stuff that I want. Number 2, I haven't actually sculpted anything since high school. That was a while ago. So it doesn't turn out the greatest. I mean, it's not like the worst sculpt in the world, but you know, he's not looking too hot there at the end. He's not the best little fox baby. So basically what I was trying to do was just emulate the shape that I was looking at on the box. But I think I made his body too big. And once I made his body too big, that just threw everything else off. Along with his body being too big, I think I made his head too small. I don't know what I was doing clearly, but I tried my best. The clay is actually not that bad to use. You know, considering it was only $1, it's not that bad to use it. I mean, I got something at the end, so that's good. So then I was just making little arm shapes, but it was around this point that I realized he started looking a lot like Charmander. Oh my gosh, and that's horrible because he's not supposed to be a freaking fire dinosaur. He's supposed to be a fox. He looked nothing like a fox. He looked like a Pokemon. I mean, when I put the brown bits on, he looked a little bit more like a fox, but he still kind of looked like a Pokemon to me. And it might just be the orange that was like tricking me into thinking he was Charmander, or it might be, you know, the shape of his head and his body, which is nothing like a fox. Now, when I put the legs on, that's when I realized nothing was in proportion. So I started to try to add a little more weight around him, and he started to get kind of chunky. I was just trying to like even everything out because his legs were like jutting out in the back and there was nothing holding it there. I can't see the back of the picture on the one that I'm modeling it after, so I wasn't sure what I was doing wrong. But yeah, he started to look a little bit chunky, kind of like a little chunky Charmander, or like an orange poisonous frog. And then when I put the ears on him, he looked more like a canine, but still kind of like a Pokemon, just not one I've ever seen before. He still was a little bit out of proportion at this point. He was a lot better than when I first started because I did add a little more weight to his back. But, you know, I tried my best. And his nose, oh my gosh, his nose is just entirely too big. But I do go back and change that at one point after I realized that his nose was too big. And those freaking eyes, I struggled so much to get those eyes. I don't know why it was so hard to do them, but it took me forever to get those on, which was sad because later on I started fleshing out his face a little bit because his face was just way too small. And then I had to rip the eyes off after it took me forever to get them on, which was annoying. But you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. I really did try my best to make it look like the model. You know, you can see me holding it up and realizing where I went wrong, which is where I put the smaller nose on. And then that's when I realized that his face was too small. So I started adding a little extra pieces to the sides of his face and like his shoulder area, I guess you would call that. I think his ears are too big. I didn't put the brown on the back of the ears like the model has, but at that point I was like, I'm not touching these things. Once I chunk his face up a little bit, I think it matches his body more and he starts to look a little bit more canine and less like a frog dinosaur type of hybrid thing. I do think in the end that he turned out okay. He's not the worst sculpt. And the tail helped. The white tail at the end did help him look a little bit more like a fox and less like Charmander, if you will. But in the end, I thought he was kind of cute. He's a little lumpy, and I mean, he's a little out of proportion, but he's still cute to me. The clay actually wasn't too bad to work with. The only thing is there's no instructions on it, so there's no way telling you how to let it like cure. I guess I'll just leave it out. I don't know if it's gonna harden. I mean, most anything like that hardens if you leave it out, but it doesn't seem like to bake it or anything. I'm pretty sure if I put this in the oven it would all just melt anyways. But either way, there's my fox, there's the model, and I think it looks pretty good. I don't think he turned out horrible. I know he's not the best, but he's not horrible, and I'm not throwing him away. He is mine now. I need to name him. I don't have a name for him yet. I'm gonna name him something cute. Okay, bye.